Good day, world. Welcome to Be in the Moment. I am delighted to be here together today with the one and only manifestable, Brett Banfe. Now, Brett, is that really how we say your name?
It's Banfe, but a lot of people pronounce it Banff.
Ah, great. Well, up until today, I always said Banfe, but I thought I would be a little bit conservative and say Banff.
Yeah, no, it's Banfi, the original spelling of the name, and there's an Italian vineyard that's I think kind of near Lake Como, which is kind of where the family originally came from in Italy. And yeah, so the name traces back to Italian with an I at the end. But my paternal grandmother changed the name when she, had her when she started her family with my dad as the oldest, because there was some discrimination against, immigrants, Italians, etc. in that time. So it was an effort to kind of like normalize the last name.
Interesting. Wow. Well, it's wonderful that you know the heritage and we can continue to celebrate today. So, Banfi it is. Welcome. Now, we are here today to talk about a most playful and exciting topic, and that is games. Now, many games are a lot of fun and mostly a lot of laughs. The games that we're focused on today are trading card games or TCG. So tell us, Brett, what's your experience with trading card games?
Sure. Well, I started off as a interested in comic books when I was a young boy, and my mother, her family was, her brothers. She had six brothers, and they were into comic books as well. Most of the, those were in the 60s, etc. And most of the comic
Ooh.
books that were coming out in the 60s were being read and then left out in the rain and thrown into a mud puddle, etc., because they're being purchased by little kids for 10 cents, etc., never with any idea that there would be any collector value or any real literature value to any of these. And he just, my mother's brother, just so happened to be someone that kept all of his in pretty much perfect condition. So when he became, an adult, he was able to, use these comic books to put his children through college, etc., with Superman #1, Spider-Man #1, multitude of extremely rare comic books. And so my mother, she was someone that impressed on me at a very early age the value of maybe taking care of the things that I was using, even if I considered them toys or just, just like for fun, for my own amusement, that maybe potentially, I could put my children through college with those same collector's items. So she would take me to the comic store, and we would go maybe once a week, and I would have an allotment of maybe 3 or 4 books. She also really knew that if this was something I was interested in, it could accelerate my reading. So a lot of parents would look at that and they wouldn't want their child to have an involvement with something like this, because it's not necessarily considered like a classical literature or something like that you would want your child to be exposed to. But my mom knew, hey, if it holds his attention and it gets him learning, and then it's good enough for me. So we got into the comic books. It was like a ritual that we did together, and she started to get into them as well. And one of the days that I was there, the store owner just said, "Hey, why don't you try out this new product called Magic the Gathering?" At the time, we were collecting things like, football player cards, etc. And so when we would go to the grocery store, we would get a pack of football cards. And so these appealed to me just because I was used to buying cards. If I was, at the store with my mom, etc., I might get a pack. And when I opened them up, there wasn't, a football player or a stat, even though I love football, but there was, like an angel or, like all of these crazy, uh, you know, um, goblins and things like that really kind of like was a whole new world that I wasn't really exposed to. And I immediately became hooked. This was in 1994, roughly around 30 years ago when the product launched. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, I've been into it ever since. Yeah.
Fantastic. So
Yeah.
you are a Magic the Gathering OG.
Yeah. Yes, I'm an OG, and I've been playing ever
Fantastic.
since.
Wow. Well, and I love that story too about your mother's awareness of education, because the joy of storytelling is within your roots. Since I've met you in Miami last year, and since then, I've learned that you are a very in-depth storyteller. You have a love of poetry and of design and storyboarding. Even we can see within comic books is very powerful. So I think that's great. The joy of learning through play is very meaningful to me as well. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, the storyboarding is really important too. My name manifestable, and a comic strip works in several iterations. You have the scene of what's happening now, but the scene of our future is for all of our lives is empty, and it's our choice of what to put in that next frame for our lives. And so yeah, I encourage everyone to be in the moment and allow that freedom of the next page to guide you.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for the inspiration and motivation. That's right. And I know that I'm a big fan of cards, as far as many different angel cards or motivational cards, positive affirmation cards. You could have prayer cards or tarot cards or Kabbalah cards or even nature cards. There's so many wonderful collectible cards out there, and the way people use them can bring inspiration or it could be for play. So we are aware, our friends within the Bitcoin community, they have created a trading card game. And I have it here. It has an amazing name. It is the Champions of Otherworldly Magic.
That's right. Yeah, Champions of Otherworldly Magic is a trading card game that uses blockchain technology as plumbing for its digital rights management tool and its distribution channel. So, how traditional trading card games work is you have to build the product, manufacture the product, print it, package it, ship it to all the different locations so that me, as a little 9-year-old or 10-year-old, is able to stumble into it while on a grocery trip store with my mom, and eventually it makes its way to me. One of the things that blockchain enables is a shortening of that window, because the things that we just described in that process, not everyone has access to the ability to print, manufacture, ship, get into these stores, etc. So, so how would an emergent game be able to achieve maybe not the exact same effect, because there is something to be said for holding something in your hand, but how do we create a similar process and similar journey for our product to be able to reach a customer in a digital form? And once they own that card and once it's in their possession, how do we ensure that the game knows that that belongs to them and that they can continue to use that game or that card in within the context of that game, and in such a way as if they wanted to trade it to their neighbor, maybe let's say that the neighbor, there was a bet, and who could race down the block the fastest, whoever won gets to keep the angel card, etc. We need to know that the game item was traded to the neighbor, but we don't need to know. The game just needs to know who owns it. They don't need to know what was the history, and all of this stuff. They just need to know, is it in this player's possession now or this player's possession now? So blockchain completely revolutionizes that, not just for a digital trading card game, but for all games, because the gaming industry, I think it's around $250 billion annually or something like this, where if you take the sports industry and you take the movie industry and you take the music industry and you add them all up, you get approximately a half of the size of this global gaming industry. It is like enormous, and again, we're able to use a brand new emergent tool to disrupt that in a way that creates value for players who are able to unlock unique opportunities within that game that aren't possible through non-blockchain integrated formats, such as when you purchase a game at one version, like let's say a Pokemon game, etc., and you may spend hours and hours and hours unlocking the final version of Pikachu, but then the next version of the game comes out, and that this new version has no way of knowing that you've spent the time to accumulate the game items, right? It's just, you start from scratch, and in some ways that's fun, but in other ways, we're seeing this intersection of blockchain and gaming where bonuses and privileges and items that are earned in one platform can be ported over and be interoperable with other platforms as well.
Really? So how would that be possible with Pikachu?
Yeah, so imagine that that the Pikachu is a digital item, and you just like, remember with Super Mario, you have to get to where the princess is always in the other castle, right? So so eventually, the idea is like Pikachu is in the other castle, right? But you go through the game steps, and the whole game is getting to the end when finally you unlock, and it can be any item, but let's just say you unlock Pikachu. Now, imagine that unlocking it is actually an item that you own. The main problem with digital items is that they're really hard to determine what is a authentic version versus a reproduction. And we see that in not just in digital world, but in analog world as well, with very famous paintings. There's a whole series of people whose job is essentially to determine, is this a real Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci, or is it one of the countless reproductions, etc. Blockchain can completely solve that problem, because the blockchain essentially is just a digital registry, and that registry can be applied to all types of things. It can be used to update information, such as what is your current level within the game? Is it 10, or are you at level 12? Are you a level 14? Are you an orc? Are you a wizard? Are you a goblin? These are some things that can be registered to the platform. But also, do you actually possess this axe that's in your inventory, etc.? And, just like any game item, sometimes they're multiple use, sometimes they're one-time use. If I have an apple in my inventory, but I can use that to add some health to my character's stats, have I consumed that apple and gotten the bonus in my health, or have I not? The game needs to know that definitively, and also the other players need to know that. And so what we see is that the blockchain, as almost a universal or a single source of truth, first of all, it's very cheap to interact with the blockchain, because we're talking about economies of scale. So, the same amount of infrastructure that would provide to provide this digital registry information just for our game, it might cost us a lot of money. But since we get to borrow the registry system that the blockchain is using, we get to take advantage of the economies of scale, and we pass those savings on to the customer. So whereas a typical trading card game, like a Magic or like a Pokemon or a Yu-Gi-Oh, are putting all these upfront costs together in order to print the product, ship the product, package the product, etc. Get it to a physical location. By the end of this customer journey, the location is able to buy the product for just barely under, or sometimes it's the same or even higher than some of these large retailers like Amazon or some of these other places are able to actually offload the product. And so as a result, you're seeing the dwindling of these paper card game formats across the industry, where the stores who are needing to, keep the lights on aren't making enough on the product itself to continue to run and host organized events and, community gatherings, community get-togethers, shared learning sessions where, older players and more advanced players can teach some of the younger players. These opportunities are starting to go by the wayside, especially with the impact of the pandemic, et cetera. And we see that blockchain is the perfect tool to reintroduce the profit incentive back to the store owners to be able to skip out some of the costs that are associated with development and distribution, and to pass those savings on to the store and eventually on to the end user.
Wonderful. Yes, cost savings, we love it. And also having the integrity of the record to know that the effort I have put into building out my deck and to designing my strategy in the game, this is recorded on the blockchain. So it cannot be stolen, it cannot go anywhere. And then I think I heard you say that even with the store owners, if there were, you had said they were becoming like jewelry stores where people were entering in the night and stealing thousands of Pokemon cards.
Yep. And unfortunately, just in my hometown, I live in Boulder, Colorado, in the United States.
Nice.
And in Boulder, within me, there's approximately, within a 15-mile radius or so, there's approximately 40 different trading card game stores that, again, are all really struggling and feeling the pinch of how to, draw in more traffic and to push the product in such a way as it's actually profitable for them to continue to do so. And but because of the explosion of interest in some of these trading card games, we're seeing some of the prices of these cards driven up to points where these stores are essentially targets for vandalism, for theft, and all these really kind of like unsavory elements of the society, because they have tens of thousands of dollars worth of inventory, and the thieves are looking at them as sort of some easy targets. So within my own region, approximately 8 or so different stores within 10 miles of me have been broken into. It's in the news too, so you could Google it. And they're happening one after another, 1 week after the other, etc. And so, that's another advantage of a digital trading card game, is that our product, again, uses the blockchain. The inventory doesn't need to be purchased in advance. The stores can just become an outlet for the digital assets. And but also they don't have to worry about someone trying to come in and steal the inventory, because again, the blockchain is used to keep that register and that account.
Right. So even that individual card that may have a high value at the current rate, it has a digital twin on the blockchain. So therefore, even if the physical item were stolen, to then trade it on another market or another exchange somewhere, you would need to have the record, the digital record. Is that the case?
Yes, correct. Yeah. And our game doesn't use any physical components. So our game is exclusively just the digital items. But the nice part is that those digital items are not able to be kind of stolen. They don't have to be kept as inventory by the store. And yeah, it's just we're taking advantage of the economies of scale by ensuring that they have the ability for those to be transferred seamlessly, basically entirely free, and using the hand cash infrastructure and gaming platform to transfer those items. And yet, just so that for the benefit of your audience too, I'll just give a brief explanation, because a lot of times when we're talking to people who have a lot of experience with physical trading card games, like a Magic, like a Yu-Gi-Oh, or a Flesh and Blood, they aren't entirely sure how the items are on the blockchain to begin with. And I oftentimes use this example of essentially, imagine you're in, the shopping mall or something, and you just happen to bump into Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons. By the way, Matt, if you're watching, hello, love your show. Thanks for tuning
Hi,
in to
everybody.
Be in the Moment. If you're Matt Groening and I bump into you at the supermarket, I want some sort of record of that, right? This is such a great experience for me. I look in my pockets and all I have is just a Sharpie marker and a penny. Well, that's good enough for me. I asked Matt Groening, hey, would you mind just, MG, just do a little something so I can show my friends that I met you. But Matt does something even more for me. He's a really fine artist, and he gets this wonderful sketch of Bart on my penny, and he's holding a skateboard, and he's giving a thumbs up, etc. And then he signs his name, and he gives the date, and he puts all this, and this is for Brett. He puts all this information on this penny. Now I can walk up to the register if I want to and buy a pack of gum. I can give them the Matt Groening penny. It still works as a penny. And just like with the blockchain system, you can put all this data, this information, what does the card look like? Is this a monster? Is it a angel? Is it a champion? All this information is on a blockchain's version of a penny. But if I reach my hand in my pocket and to show my friends, and I have some other loose change in that pocket, I can show them that penny specifically is the one that I had when I met Matt Groening. It's very visually identifiable to all people, which is the one that has the information about Bart on it. And just like anything, if another person happened to meet Matt Groening the next day and get a very similar penny, maybe there's 10 different versions with Bart and only 8 versions with Lisa. So the Lisas are a little bit more rare, right? They're doing slightly different poses, and and we can begin to trade these around and say, oh, I want one Lisa, I'll give you 2 Barts for one Lisa. And so we're doing the same thing, but we're just using the blockchain to keep track of what that information, what is the pose, what is the name, what's the attack value, what's the health value of all these different assets. And essentially, just like when we were at middle school or something, and we're playing like, flick the paper football through the goalpost,
Mm-hmm.
we're just putting our pennies on the table. It's a digital table in this case. And we are attacking each other with them. This penny attacks that penny. This penny blocks this penny, etc. And you can really build an entire game infrastructure from start to finish using this very, very cost effective for emerging trading card games to consider the blockchain as the primary distribution channel for their digital trading card game product. And Champions of Otherworldly Magic is just, a test case of seeing, what does this look like at scale? How do we bring, traditional gamers onto the platform? And, what's the feedback from the general community?
Exciting. So, if there are folks out there that have their long held dreams and sketches of designing their own trading card game, is this feasible that they could try it out now on the blockchain? Is it that they would interact with Champions of Otherworldly Magic, or just hand cash, or how does this work?
Yeah, it's absolutely feasible, and it doesn't have to just be, a fantasy. Champions of Otherworldly Magic is set in kind of a fantasy realm, but it doesn't have to be fantasy realm, right? There's fantasy in the sense that we are, we're monsters within this world, etc. There's also sort of like the Renaissance fair, like we're kings and queens of the court, right? And then there's all these different ways. There's space versions that you could come up with, like that we're all in a sort of Star Wars kind of imagined world. Traveling through time could be a unique opportunity to explore in these trading cards. And the costs that are associated with distributing on blockchain are just so basically minuscule that you can afford to just try it, and if it turns out that you aren't the greatest game designer in the world, and it didn't pan out for you, guess what? What did you do? You did your Saturday afternoon and $20 to put your ideas into motion. Whereas it's what it does is it really enables the creativity of our everyday ordinary people who maybe are going through a rote routine of wake up, go to a job that they hate, encounter all of the rat race kind of things that you need to do to keep your little world like from blowing away like a dandelion petal. And you get to actually say, okay, I'll give this a shot. I want to see. I love trading cards. Like maybe I'm good at it, maybe I'm not, but at the end of the day, if you can try it out for $20, maybe the large majority of those don't work, but maybe that 1 in 100 finds something that catches the tiger by the tail, and it turns into something that eclipses all of the trading card games combined. And with a $250 billion industry here, you certainly have a rapt audience that is ready to at least try out anything that you're willing to put out there. And it's just like anything, you care enough about it. You care about the people that are playing your game, that are giving you the time of day to test it out. And at the end of the day, that if you take their feedback really seriously and incorporate it into your next versions of the product, you're going to have a success.
I love that. I love human ingenuity in every individual.
Yeah. And the blockchain, I think, as a streamline to your creativity having a market.
Ooh, okay, great. So this is the first step, this Champions of Otherworldly Magic. Now, let's take a look at the deck, if we may. It looks beautiful. I get a definite focus on nature. And let's see, where did it go? There it is. So I'd love to go through the different magical qualities and the lore of the game with you.
Yeah.
But my first question really is, while the lore is very nature focused of the earth, I get that feeling when I review the different details about the cards. Why is it otherworldly?
Yeah. So I really love the otherworldly elements of it. But one of the things that is like a running joke is we call these worlds otherworldly worlds, right? So like, it's like the double using of the world. But I guess if you can imagine that, do you remember when, like sort of maybe like they have them in different stores where there's these glowing balls that have the electricity that's sort of jumping out to the edge of the globe,
Yes.
the glass, and you sort of touch your finger on the outside and you immediately create an arc, a string to these different the from the center of the globe out to the outer edge, etc. So I kind of think of it like that. These otherworldly worlds are essentially contained worlds, right? But they're not entirely contained, right? There's some, as Leonard Cohen says, we're all cracked. That's how the light gets in, right? So each of these worlds is sort of self-contained. So you have kind of the ice world, which is all like creatures that have become adapted to the ice, etc. And then the nature world, etc. And but there's this sort of crack in all of them where, they each can kind of like navigate out of their own worlds and into these other worlds. And you touch on these ideas of like sort of time travel with Bill and Ted. Like, what if like Abraham Lincoln just sort of showed up at my school and gave my presentation on like, this, that, or the other, right? These things
On
that
the
like,
penny.
are from a different time, place, and an environment, and sort of brought into a new environment. And what is the instinct? Is it fight? Is it flight? Is it make peace? There's all of these different things. If you think about it, magic in a way is about self-directed action. What action am I going to take and commit to, and how do I evaluate that result? And so, if, fire, of course, is wonderful. We use it to stay warm. But if all you have is fire, then there's not really that much opportunity to sit back and enjoy it, right? Because, you're already burned up by it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the where do the various different pieces of the magic intersect with each other in this sort of giant globe, and how do you use them to create a hopscotch pattern? So you go from nature to water to ice to fire to earth. And at the end of the day, we're trying to, I think of games as just vehicles and mechanisms to explore ourselves. So when we're exploring an ice enchanted world, in a way, we're getting directly in touch with the frigid components of who we are, and can we thaw that down? And when we thaw that down, what part of nature is locked in that ice? And how do we encounter the nature of ourselves that we've closed ourselves off to? And so it's about courage, right? Because all magic and all self-directed action requires a degree of courage of trying something new. It requires exploration, because you need to go out and encounter something that you've never encountered before. And it requires like the ability to adapt. You need to be in the moment, to realize, what is my role in this place? Am I here to free this monster? Is this a friendly monster? Is this an unfriendly monster? Is this the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and New York City is about to come under attack because I made the choice to pull the book off the bookshelf, and it swung around, and now all of the magic is out into the world. And these are the things that, as a gamer, you are using these cards as sort of page marks in your decision-making process about your own self-exploration and about exploration with others in a social gaming environment.
Wow, I love that. And maybe through playing games, it can inform our own lives, our own daily lives, character development, even. It could be a role playing. I think that's one thing about the MMORPGs, is that they can also be used for experiments to see how different things impact communities. I remember reading about that once. So very interesting, Brad. This is cool. Now, what is the psi beam?
Yeah. Well, before I jump into the elements, I would just want to run up to the top of the that little Roggelt that we were looking at before, that showed the card. So we'll just start with this one, because this is kind of the framework. So we'll fill in the details here, but just taking a look at this, this is a Roggelt, and Roggelt is one of our champions. So we have 151 different champions. So it has a name that's at the very top. And then it has a champion number. So in the top left, underneath the name, but all the way off into that sort of like top left corner, there's a little white bubble there that has a number in it. That's it's basically like its numbering system within the game. So Roggelt technically has a name, so that we don't have to refer to it as, I guess, what is it, champion 88 maybe. But like, to the game knows it as champion 88, right? We colloquially call it Roggolt, but Roggolt has a elemental type. Elemental type is below its feet, and we can see that there. The elemental type is normal, um, and then it has a attack value 5, and it has a health value or a defense value, and that is 3 on the right hand side. So how this would work is, if there were 2 champions, maybe 2 opposing Roggolts. I have one, you have one. My Roggolt, if it attacks yours, mine would deal 5 to yours because the attack value is 5. Yours would return with an attack of 5. So they sort of do battle against each other. They engage in mortal combat. And then if the damage is sufficiently enough to lower its defense to 0 or below 0, then the card would be considered dead, and it would be removed. It would be put into the graveyard. And then the cards can either attack the player or an opposing champion, and they begin in our hand, and then they move to the battlefield. Basically, they become like we summon them to sort of do battle on our behalf, and they get summoned for the mana cost that's in the top right corner. So in a perfect world, the attack value would be quite high. You would want a lot of attack, you would want a lot of health. But in a perfect world, that mana value at the top right corner, that is going to be really low, because that would be like, like essentially like the cost, right? You want your costs down and your values to be high. So, that is more or less the basis of the cards. And then all of the cards do different abilities. But I think one thing that would be helpful is if you scroll a little bit more towards the top of the page here, there's a button called Play Now. And I think we could just jump into a game. Yeah, and just go right to the Play Now button.
Mm-hmm.
Here, have you created an account yet, or?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
So,
I should have done that. Okay.
Yeah, no problem. Just maybe just create an account. I don't think you'll get a confirmation email. I think you'll just load in your details and create a username, and you'll instantly be in the platform.
Okay, great. So let me just remove this quickly. And then please do tell us about putting the card on the table. So maybe we'll see that in the game world. But
yeah, absolutely. So, how our game differs from some other trading card games is, for example, a game like Magic, the mana that you would need, mana is kind of like the game's resource, right? So you can only do so many things as you have the mana to do them. It's kind of like your bank account, right? Like you can only spend so much as you have. Just like that, you have an accumulation of mana. Mana is, the magical kind of like essence, the pure essence of the magic itself, or of the land, because a lot of times the magic comes directly from the land or from wisdom, right? It comes from our ancestral wisdom. What is our the wisdom of our grandmothers and our great grandmothers, etc. That's a type of mana, because this is a knowledge that is passed down for, in some cases, millions of years of testing and evaluating. So like when we instinctively react to something in a human instinct way, a lot of times that isn't an instinct, right? That's a learned behavior that we've inherited from our great grandmothers, and so as a wizard within the game, you accumulate this mana. The mana becomes a resource that you draw on to achieve your affected and desired results. And in this game, the playing of the champions or the summoning of them to do battle on your behalf, that is done through the mechanic of using the mana.
That's neat. Well, yeah, I think that's interesting about the generational wisdom, the wisdom of our ancestors. So, like you say, it could be a learned behavior, maybe it could be a weakness, or it could be a strength. So, that is very interesting, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
and one thing that I like to tell people, which I find to be quite fascinating, is you come from an unbroken lineage of survival as someone that's alive today. If for the past billions of years, however old this planet is, if ever any one of your ancestors failed to reproduce, you wouldn't be here. So if you think
mhm.
about it, you are literally standing on the shoulders of survival giants. Like you've never not been successful at it, and you will continue to be successful at it, likely going forward. And yeah, these are patterns of learned behavior that lead to our ongoing development, survival, and traits that produce positive results that continue to provide us those opportunities.
Oh, totally, yes. And I do remember, this is kind of an anecdote, but my grandmother told me, she said, like, every so often, uh, every few years, uh, everyone will start saying it's the end of the world. And she said, don't believe them. It's not. And that has been so helpful because that was back in like maybe, I don't know, I'm not even sure when, but it was back in the 2000s when she told me that. And we've had so many moments where it seemed like the world was about to end. And I
Yeah.
just remembered what my grandma said. It's not.
Yeah, and who
So
are you
I
going to
think that
trust?
helped me.
A bunch
Yeah.
of strangers or your grandmom?
Yeah, no, but it was really helpful because it's easy to go, oh my gosh, ah! But I,
Yeah,
I thought, no, it's not the end of the world, right? I'll remember what my grandma said.
yeah.
So thanks, Grandma. Now, here we are. We're here, and we have select deck or play. So, what should we do next, Brett?
Yeah, let's jump right in. And if you're a new player and you want to get started, luckily you have someone that has played before guiding you here. But you would more or less be jumping right into this without too much advanced knowledge. And so we're going to want to go to that create a free play deck right
Okay.
there. Yep. And we'll click on that, and it will bring us to a world where, or to a section where we get to decide who do we want to battle with. So these are where we pick our champions. And so
Ooh.
yeah, and so if you just take a second to just absorb them kind of visually, they're just visually very stunning, right? They sort of connote a little bit of what they do without, even if you don't know what the abilities are, like this Arctic King here, Arctifang, right? You can imagine that, well, they look very cold, they look very chilly. I'm guessing they do some sort of freezing mechanic, like these ones who look electric, right? And maybe they have a very fast ability or something. These ones that are like surrounded by light. Maybe they have some sort of like blessing or sort of like value that supports some sort of bless mechanic. And these little, what are those little panda bears? I guess these panda bears, like they're covered in leaves. They look like they're growing things. Maybe they have a regenerative magic that helps things regrow or become whole again. So one of the fun parts about these types of games is like, at the beginning, mostly and nobody knows what all of these things do, right? But you,
Mhm.
especially as like a young player, you sort of dive right in and you just sort of figure it out. And oftentimes you're wrong, like I guess this one looks like it does this, and you and your friends will come up with your own set of rules for how these games work. And turns out 10 years later goes by and you realize I did not understand that correctly at all. You know, I had that way off. This looked like it did this, but it turns out it does that. But yeah, so we're gonna go. Let's go to the very tops of the page here, and we'll just build ourselves a series of champions. And to build a deck, we'll put 25 to 30 champions in our deck. So we're gonna choose 30, and we're going to just play with a mixture of all of them, so we can kind of see what their abilities do. Because one of the best ways to learn something is just by doing it.
Totally. Oh, yes. So let's see. Pardon me. I keep experimenting with the different layouts here as we're talking. So I think that the one that we had initially was really good. Okay, there we are. Thank you. All right. So where shall we go?
We'll go to the very top.
Okay.
And we are going to select a champion that is called, let's try Flammy, that one all the way on the left. We'll just add one. You just click it, and over on the right-hand side, you see how it showed up?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we'll just leave that one in there for right now. We'll see this Soul Swimmer right here. Second from the right. It's like a little fish.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Yep. We'll add one of those. And then this Tree Guard, we're going to add one of those. This one, yep. Then the Eaglon, we'll add one of these. And you can also see at the bottom right, we're seeing that they're accumulating, not just their bubbles are showing up with their faces, but we are also seeing the number down there. So, and as we add them, that wheel, like the percentage of that wheel will start to fill up. And that will tell us about how many we have left to have the rest of our deck. So yeah, we can add a Fan Boo. And let's add a Boo Boo also. And then let's go down. We'll add a Stana. Yep. A Doom. Doom Mush.
Doom Mush?
Yeah. Right there. Yep. All right. Then we can scroll down past this one. A Icy Quine. And then here we'll add a Monkey, a Ooga, and an Ooga Chief. All right, so we're up to 12, so we can keep going down. A Tentacutie. So one of the things that I like about this game is that there are such cute cards. Like, seriously, I would say, like, okay, imagine you die to that little Tentacutie, but are you really that mad? I mean, it's adorable. Like,
no, it's not that cute.
No? Yeah. Okay. Then then what about the Turdy? How do you feel the Turdy's quite cute or no?
So yeah, that's the first one that I've received in the airdrop.
Yeah.
Was a Turdy. And I thought, what is this? Ew. But now I think, okay, well, it's a game. But look at it. It has 111. It's the lowest value card.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, let's toss one in there anyway, just for fun. Okay. All right. So I like to think that the Turdy, Pikachu, Pokemon has its Pikachu. I want Turdy to be like the Pikachu of this game, Okay, so let's see. Maybe go down a little bit more. We'll do Nordy. It's water with the, he has the boxing gloves. We'll do the Cactosaurus here. And then below on that next one, we have a Glaciador. We'll try that. One more up, yeah.
I got that one, I think.
Yeah. Oh, you got it? Okay, then the Mecha Fly. Sorry. Yeah, Mecha Fly here, so it would be nice. Let's try one of them. Okay, and then scrolling down one more, we see the Rabotron. Let's try that. Yep. And the Fury Bear. Sorry, the Fury Bear there.
Oh yeah, I see.
I like that one.
I
He's pretty mean.
saw.
Don't want to mess with the Fury Bear. All right, Enchi, one of my favorite cards.
Oh, the red panda.
Yeah,
So
that's
cute.
it. I couldn't remember what it's called. It's a red panda. That's right.
Yes, so cute. And it's in the fire.
Yeah. Yeah, well
Wow.
it's kind of like a nature fire though, so I don't think it's
Yeah.
that's being burned. It's sort of like the nature magic. But all right, let's
Yes.
scroll down a couple more. So we can skip this section right here, and these ones are quite good. The Lumi and the
Beautiful.
Lumino.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's scroll down a little bit more. And we'll see. Let's try a Fondra, that little deer. Yep. And now a Pegasol. It's on the next page. Okay, so these are a Pandorable. I love the names of some of these cards too. I was
Really.
talking with Zach Wins, and he said his favorite card name was Ice Cube.
Ice cube.
Yeah,
That's cute. Now, where did this Pandorable go?
it's right there. That little panda bear with the leaves around it. It's in the
Oh, yes, I
next
see.
section.
Like a
Yep.
little Yoda panda.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like the Pandorables. All right, one more. Let's try one below again. And yeah, let's keep going down. Now we're gonna add three more cards here: the Grun, the Blue, and the Ponk.
Mm.
Yep. And
Yeah.
then we're gonna add one of these angels down here at the bottom as well. We will add let's see. We'll add Ignatius.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then let's name this deck right there where it says enter deck name. Let's call it something. We can name it however you'd like, but
Okay. Newbie.
sure. Yeah.
Okay. Is that Noobi?
Yeah, that's perfect. And
Okay.
then press the little save button right to the right
Mhm.
of that. And we're good to go. So we are going to go to let's try playing versus the bot. So we'll play versus the bot here. Yep.
So cool.
And yeah, so now you can see that the music comes on and the game has started. It is our turn, I believe. And we have one mana. Now the mana is denoted by that blue light that is, if you look at our name and to the right, yeah. So the blue shows how much we have. So we can spend one, and we have something that costs one. So what you're going to do is look at the cards in your hand, find the one that costs one, and drag it onto the board, the plank in front of your players. Yep. Just drop it anywhere. Yep. So you've played it. Now your turn is done, and you can press that big maroon button that says end turn right there. All right. So the opponent has played a Pandorable also for one. And now you can attack your opponent. So what you want to do to attack the opponent is go to your champion and click on it and hold the mouse down and drag your mouse up. So the turdy, click on the turdy
Okay.
and click on it and drag it up all the way up to the green wizard's face. Yep, right there. And let it go. So you've dealt damage now. You just attacked that player. And that's all you can do this turn because I don't see anything for two, so you can end the turn.
Okay.
So you could have attacked the opposing Pandorable, but you would have died with the retaliation damage. So
Sure.
right now you have three, and it looks like, can you hover your mouse over that ice cube? I just want to be sure what its ability does. So if you aren't sure, okay, so it has the provoke ability. So now if you try to drag the turdy up and attack the green player again, you can see that it won't allow you to do so because you must attack the ice cube. But before you do so, let's spend our mana because your one will not kill the ice cube at two. But play your Gua S, that pink frog in the middle of your hand there. Play your Gua S, and it has an ability called Bless. When you bless something, you increase the attack value of a friendly champion, either itself or the turdy. So let's choose the turdy. Yep. Now it just got a bonus. It was blessed with additional strength, and now the turdy. Next time we weren't able to attack because the time ran out, but next turn the turdy can attack the ice cube and kill it.
Ooh,
So
okay, let's do it.
yeah, let's start with that.
Yay!
Great. And now you have 4, so you can play that Ooga. See this Ooga?
Ooga.
Yep, because that costs 4. So if you're curious, you put your mouse over it and see that it's 4. And it's a 6/6, but the Cactosaurus is a 5/5, so you can drag the Ooga through the Cactosaurus to attack it. Now it will deal the damage. So your Gua-S can also attack and kill the Pandorable. You see the pink frog that's still on your battlefield?
Oh, yes, yes.
Yes, so that can attack the opposing Pandorable. So drag that. Yep. Now you've killed it. So now you can end your turn now, and you have gotten rid of 2 of the opposing champions. They've played a Glaciador, so they've frozen your Gua-S. Now it can't attack for 2 turns, but your Ooga can kill it. So try it. Yep. And now you can play the Thunder Kang all the way on the left. Yep, because that costs 5. And now attack the opponent's green face for 6. Now they're at 53, and you can end your turn. Card came down, and now your champions have been removed because they both had Whirlwind. So that puts them back into your hand.
Ooh,
but the nice part is you can play the Thunder Kang again.
Is that no? That's not it. Okay.
No, that will do an earthquake, but the opposing champions are in the air, so that won't get them. But see this Thunder Kang, the electric fox.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can attack the Bear Fury, the 3/3.
Oh,
because
Bear Fury.
The Thunder Kang has rush, so it can attack the turn it comes into play, and then you can end the turn here. So, all right. Now let's see. So that costs 5, and you have 7, so you can play that the Krakapus. Now it has a vortex ability, so that immediately deals 3 to your opponent. But you have 2 left. But look, you have that little Hydro Fang all the way on the right in your hand. It's the blue card. Yep, that costs 2, so you can do that. Anytime you can play 2 cards, it's a good thing, I think. So you get another vortex, and your opponent loses 3 again, and you can end your turn. The bot plays a little bit quickly, so usually a player will take a little more time to think about it. But the bot playing fast puts you on the hot seat. So you were frozen, it looks like, from the Arc to Fang, and you were attacked for 4. One of the things you can do is you can play this Enchi, the one that you just drew, the little red panda.
There, Enchi.
Play that. Yep, and it has a Life Bloom ability where you choose a friendly champion. So choose the middle one, and it increases the health by 4. So you just added 4 to yourself, but now your Hydrofang can attack the Arctofang. Because when it is it able to, or that was the one that was frozen, isn't it?
Yes, it's not.
Okay, so then use your Krakapus to attack the Tredier. Yep, use that one. Because the 7 will kill the Tredier at 6, but it will not die in return. And then you can hit end turn.
Okay, and then I can do this.
One more turn. It waits to be. It will be unfrozen next turn. But you can use your Krakapus and your Enchi to attack that tree guard to kill it.
Okay, I'll just use the Enchipus first.
Yep, that'll work. And your Enchi will work also. Now you've killed it. And now you can play one of the other cards that you have. You can choose which one. It's okay, whichever one you choose.
Okay. It went to the graveyard?
Yeah, so that should have been. You can hit end turn here. So
Okay.
the climber bee has an inferno ability, which means sometimes it gets so hot that it even burns itself up. So that was
Ah.
so that unfortunately it took itself out. Um,
Okay.
okay, so now
So,
let's see. Okay, so there's a 10-13 on the board. So try that trouble with the boxing gloves on it. That one's a good one. Yep. And then you can try that Lumino as well. Yep. And now this will allow you to bless. So you can bless any of your champions, whichever one you want to get and strength benefit.
Okay, I guess this one.
Sure. And then you can, I believe, attack this turn with Hydrofang if you want to. And you can attack anything, the green mage or any opposing champion. It will all be good.
Okay. So I'll just do that one.
Yep.
And then,
You did kill it, but damage, so that was good.
okay.
All right.
And then,
Yep. So try the Lumino again. Yep, and it'll bless itself. You can choose to bless itself, so that gives itself a bonus. And then the purity is the angel there in the middle. Yep, that one can come in and it can bless itself also. Or it can bless the Lumino. That's okay too. Yep, and then we can pass.
Okay, and turn.
Yep. All right, so
can I attack that one?
Yes, you can. Anyone that you attack, yep, will likely die because it's so strong. And now, okay, so you have your Magmantis, so now we get to see what the Inferno does one more time. So that one all the way on the right, that looks like it's in fire. Yep, try that one. It will deal some fire to itself, but also to the opposing champion. So we were able to get rid of one, which is quite good. And now you can play something that costs 4, like Trouble would be a good one, I think. With the boxing gloves.
Yes. Yep. So this one to do.
Oh, that one doesn't have a drag ability, but you can end the turn now.
Okay.
They've created Inferno with their own Magmantis. Let's see. Okay, so I believe that Dustrial, that angel there, the Earthquake Angel. Yep, we can play that. It causes an earthquake, which was able to get rid of the Leafy. And now you can spend 5. So I think the Troll Rock, that little troll over there, will cause another earthquake, but it will get rid of the Magmantis. And now you can end the turn. So that was a very good turn. You're starting to pull ahead. Yeah. All right, let's see. So Gua S, the pink frog.
Okay.
There. Yep, and drag that out. So you're going to bless your own trolley to increase the power. Use the trolley to attack the Mechadrone. Yep. And now you can play a Necrofish, the little fishy there in your middle. Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect. And with 3 left, I don't think you have anything that costs 3. But yeah, we can end the turn here.
Okay.
So you're doing really good. All right, let's see. So let's try the Dustrial again. Causes the earthquake. Now the Necrofish can attack and kill the Gua S because it's 6 now. Yep. The Gua S, your Gua S can attack and kill, or can attack the green mage. And you can play a Roggolt and attack with that. So essentially what you're doing this whole time is you're evaluating, how do I use my mana to try to use my champions to attack the opposing, either the green mage that I'm facing, or before I before I want to do that, maybe I want to attack their champion so that they don't rush me and try to kill me. And it's this chicken and egg game of who is getting ahead on the board. And yeah, it's sort of math, you know. You just look at it like your Dustrael has a 9 attack value, that Glorable has a 9 health, so you can just attack it, and Dustrael, your Earth Angel, attacking the bull, and see how your 9 matches up. Your 9 attack matches up with their 9 health, right? Your Roggle, your 3 health.
Okay, and then this.
So now that can attack that, right? But see, yours didn't die because it only dealt the 2, you see, because it was a 2 powered Eaglon. So now you can play something like the Gua S again, you know, yep. And then bless itself or bless, it doesn't matter which one you bless, but now try that Signup. It looks like a television.
Yes.
Yeah, try that one. And yep, and just you can choose the Gua S. The siding ability will exchange the health and the attack values. So we didn't want to exchange them, so that's why we chose the Gua S. So now if you just count, you have a 8 attacker on Roggolt, 4 attacker on Gua S, and Signup is 8. So maybe you can win with just an all-out attack. So try Roggolt attacking the Green Mage. Yep, Gua S attacking the Green Mage. And then the Signup attacking the Green Mage. Yep. And now we can play the Green Egg, the Grun, draw a card, and play the Pandorable. So the Pandorable is going to have a Life Bloom. It gives health to our champions. And choose our Roggolt. Yeah. So now it gets a bonus, see? And then we can try that Scorchwing as well. Okay, so
is that it? Scorchwing?
Yeah, Scorchwing. All right, and now if you attack the Green Mage, see how he's at 7 and your Roggolt is at 8? So the 8 will be able to take it to lethal damage. You won!
Yay! Brett!
Yeah.
Yay! Thank you. Wow, never give up.
Yeah, really? And the bot plays very quickly, so it's it really puts you on the hot seat to come up. So I would have been spending a little bit more time explaining every single tactic there, but you get the idea. You attack the opponent and you attack their champions and just try to match the math to the point where yours survive and theirs die.
Right. And then the numbers, we want to look at the right numbers. So I will look at my attack number and look at the opponent's mage or mana number.
Yes, or you want to look at your attack number and look at your opponent's health number. So the health and the attack are on the bottom left and the bottom right. Actually, once they're on the field, they get put on the top of they get like little Mickey Mouse ears, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
But that's just so that you can visualize them, when the mana is how much it costs to play the champion. So it prevents you from just playing them all in a row. You have to play them in an orderly process. So the most expensive or the best creatures, they get played sort of the middle to the end of the game, so that they aren't just like coming on the battlefield and immediately changing the scope of the game.
Right. And I think I wouldn't have known what to do if you were not here. So how do other people figure this out?
Yeah, so I guess they just test it out. So one of the ways to test out is usually you play against the bot and you lose a few times before you start to get it out. Let's see if we can. We didn't end up using our deck that we built because I didn't realize it, but it used a default deck. So let's scroll down and see if we can let's keep going and find the one that we titled Newbie. There you go. Yeah, so now if we scroll back up, and what we're going to do is we're going to try to play into the free play lobby. Now, free play will allow us to play an opponent, and we can press create lobby here. and then we can name the game like brand new, uh, just testing or something like that. And
Okay.
yeah, and then someone else that's playing that wants to join, they'll be able to jump in and sort of play against you. Just
Cool.
for the ease of our conversation, I'm just going to jump in and play against you with my own account, and
Nice. Okay.
yeah, and I'll be instructing you how to defeat me.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I think that's a great way to learn to play, and
Yeah,
through interaction.
yeah. All right, so here we go. Let me just build a deck really quick.
Yay. So I think I'll do a video of the day where I introduce viewers to a card of the day.
Yeah.
And I guess I should show the picture of the card and then read the different levels of the card. Is that all to say about it? Or is there any more
Yeah.
lore available?
Right now we're still learning about that lore, and yeah, so it's still unknown. Even though I'm helping the game. So one of the things I do within the game is I assist with like creating prize incentives for people to play in competitive modes for the game, because that's one of the things I did in my in my with my love of my other trading card games, is I was always in the competitive scene. So I'm participating in that way. But even though I participate with the competitive development of the game, I don't know a lot of the lore right now either. But I think it's fascinating, and it's like fun in these early stages of games development to kind of like craft a storyline that maybe like what this Tentacutie is like. Why is the Tentacutie so cute? You know what I mean? Like,
Right. I could play around with giving it a backstory.
yes, absolutely. And it's like a bedtime story, like
Mm-hmm.
when I have two kids, and I would just make up bedtime stories, and they end up becoming what we make up ends up becoming reality a lot of times.
Right. That's so
Yeah.
true. Oh,
Yeah.
what fun. All right. So, now the other question I have is, how do I know when to hit end turn?
Yeah. So you're gonna want to look at your hand. It looks like you have 2 mana. So first thing you want to do is check all your cards. Do any of them cost 2 or less?
Okay. And the cards are only the ones available in the hand here.
Yeah. You do have more cards that are in your deck, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the Tentacutie costs 2. You can play that one. It has the ability called Rush. And Rush means that it can attack the turn that it enters. Yep. So now, because it can attack the turn it enters, you can drag the Tentacutie up to my face there. Yep. And deal me 2. And you see that my life total. Oh, sorry, 3. Excuse me. You see that my life total drops by 3. And now, unless you had other things to do, like spending more mana, you could do that right now. But otherwise, you can just end.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. And then there's a time limit on turns too, so you'll typically get around 60 seconds to play your turns, but
Cool.
but yeah. All right, let's see. So I'm gonna play a little egg, and it's gonna draw me a card. And yeah, now you can while I'm taking my turn, you can kind of look at the cards that are in your hand, and you can see, oh, that would be good to do next turn, or you're going to have 3 next turn. So look for ones that maybe cost 3 or less, and see if any of those seem like they would be good. Okay, so I'm going to play a Ponch. It has an ability called Hatch. And the Hatch ability just says that when it enters, if I have another champion in my hand that has a type Hatch, I will be able to play that for free. Yeah, so this is a whirlwind. So one of the things you want to do, whirlwind allows you to return a champion that I control to my hand. So the Lumi is the strong one that I have. So you want me to get rid of that. You want to just bounce it back. And now you can attack me with the Tentacutie. Me or an egg, but me works just as good. And then since you don't have any more mana to spend, so it's safe to pass your turn, but you want to take a few moments to think, what would I do if this happened? You can spend some time considering things like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I did the same thing. I used a whirlwind effect and returned something to your hand.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm going to end my turn.
Okay, now it's my turn. Okay, good. So, okay, I just want to see what happens.
Yep. So that one doesn't have rush, so it can't attack. See how these little green Z's are coming out from the right side of its face?
Yes.
That means it's a little sleepy this turn. It can't get busy in the red zone. It can't attack.
Oh no. So I can attack
either any of the champions or myself. Yep. And now you still have 3 mana.
okay.
So one thing to keep in mind, this Stana, it will damage your own champions down there. So it's one that you don't want to do until it's safe on your board to do so. But you could play the Rabotron there or the Fondra.
Okay, I'm not really seeing any capability.
Oh, the Fondra. Sorry, the Rabo. I thought that the Fondra or the Rabotron was a different card, but.
Oh my gosh, I don't think I not. Okay, now they're both sleeping.
Yep, that's okay.
And I don't have any mana.
Yep, and that's because the turn ended and you passed the turn, but it's because I was talking during your turn, so.
Right. Oh, very clever, Brett. Now it's my turn, right? Oh, there's the turn.
I'm getting the turn now. It's your turn.
Okay. So this might be too much. It's sleeping again.
Yep, so that they all sleep unless they have rush, but the other cards can attack me, the green player.
Okay, good. So I guess I would do.
Yep.
And then enter.
Well, I would attack Tentacutie and the 32 because they could both still attack me, but.
Okay, because I thought since there was no mana.
Well, they don't take mana to attack, but that's a very good point. To stress. Okay, so my Uga dealt some damage to your Rabotron, but neither one died. They sort of just tired each other out, and then one of the things that you want to be doing here on your turn is just thinking, okay, so last turn you had 5, this turn you have 6. What are some things that you could potentially do? And then I will pass the turn back to you.
That's fine. So then I would. This has 1 left.
So wait. Oh, yeah. I was gonna say you want to use, but since your Fondra was a little bit stronger, it was a 3. So you could have attacked with the turdy, which would have been you would have been able to kill it just with the turd.
Yes.
But next time we can do that. But yeah. So then the rest of them, I would say, just attack me.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Oh, and I still have plenty of mana.
Yeah. You already attacked with that one, but you can attack with the others. Yep. And then you have 6, so you can use the Doom Mush. Yep. Drop that, and it has Life Bloom, so you can give health to any of your own champions if you would like. Make them stronger.
It just kind of went away.
Yeah, because our time ran out. Okay. Just since we're doing like the demo, sometimes the time is running out, but So I'm going to play an Eaglon. It has Whirlwind effect, and it returns back. Now I'm going to get rid of the Turdy because it keeps dealing damage to me. And then I'm going to end my turn. And now we turn the turn back to you. Now you have that Doom Mush again, so you could play it again and Life Bloom something. So give health to one of your champions. And then probably want to get an attack in if you can. Yep. And then let's see. Perfect. And then you see this little boo-boo down there? When you play this, look at your Doom Mush, how it has 6 attack and 5 health, but play that and choose the Doom Mush. And see how the numbers are going to reverse. So now the 6 becomes the health and the 5 becomes the attack. So that Psy Beam, remember you asked me, what does the Psy Beam do? Yeah, you use it to like exchange the health and attack of anyone. It can be your own or it can be an opposing one.
Ah.
All right, so now circles back to me. All right. Let's see. So I'm going to attack you because I can't kill anything with the Pandorable. But the Eaglon can kill your Bunatron because see how my Eagle has 2 attack? That's the number at the top left of the Mickey Mouse here.
Mm-hmm.
And then your Rabotron has only 2 as its health, right?
Yes.
So my Eagle deals 2 attack to yours, which kills it, but your bunny deals 5 attack to my Eagle, which only has 2, so they both die.
Ah, in battle. I see.
Yes. They dealt lethal damage to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have this Lumino, which first of all, it's a great card, but it also has this Bless ability. So Bless lets you give power or give an attack value to something else. Yep. So see this Lumino, when you play it, bless this boo-boo. Oh, that's okay. You bless the Lumino itself, but I was going to say you can bless the boo-boo and then it goes from a 1 to a 4 and then would have been able to sufficiently kill my Pandorable, but we can try that next turn. For now, I would say do an attack of everything to me.
Okay.
Yep. And then you have 4 mana, so you can play something or you can pass it.
Is there any reason why I would pass it?
Sometimes, so you can, so that one, it has a blizzard effect. And, if you didn't want to use the blizzard right away, you could pass it. But in that case, it was, it passed for you just because, sorry, I talk sometimes about.
Oh, the time. Okay.
Okay, so
no
but one thing I'm going to try to do is play a card. It's called Lumi, and it has a Bless ability, just like your Lumino. If you think about it, that's kind of like, the grandparent of my little chick.
Oh, it's so cute.
But but the Pandorable, it previously was a 1 attack card. Now it's a 4 attack card because Lumi was able to use its Bless mechanic to add additional attack. So previously, my Pandorable could not have killed and dealt damage to your Tentacutie, but because I've used Bless, it's become strengthened, and now I can use it to effectively attack and kill your Tentacutie.
Oh, Tentacutie.
So I'll let you decide how to use this turn.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do what we said before to bless this one, but there's no point to now.
Once it gets played, that's when the bless happens, and then yeah, there you go. That's good attack. Yep, and you're survived.
And then this is, I'll just do that.
Yep. And you still have 2 creatures that can attack. Yep. Your Lumino still can attack.
Is that an attack?
Yep. That will be an attack. And now you can spend some mana to play a big creature if you'd like.
All right. Well,
that one's pretty good. Yep.
Oh, sleeping.
Yeah. Now, this tree guard has an ability that's called guard. So, if you look at that mecha fly, like move your mouse over the mecha fly for a moment. See how it says ability whirlwind?
Mm-hmm.
So, whirlwind, when you play that card, I'm just going to play a card and then pass the turn just so you can use the whirlwind and you can see what it does.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, I'm going to play Lumi. Bless, remember, so it blesses itself, and I'll pass back. And now, when you play the Mecha Fly, it will ask you to choose one of my champions. And the whirlwind, if you think about like the Wizard of Oz, like the whirlwind comes and blows Dorothy's house away. Well, this whirlwind is going to blow the Lumi back to my hand, and it won't be scary on the board anymore.
Yay!
Yeah.
But it'll still be in your hand.
It is still in my hand, but
Yeah.
now if you move your mouse over to that tree guard ability, do you see that tree guard? So it has the guard ability, and the guard is unique in that it cannot be whirlwinded because guard like protects it from being, from the fire, it protects it from the ice, it protects it from the wind, right? The tree guard is like, is like a safe haven. It's like, when you feel really rooted in something, then, and you can attack me with Lumino too. You win! When you feel really rooted, you're impervious to life's, trying to disrupt you. And that tree guard,
totally.
the guard ability roots the tree guard in and says, this can't get blown away, it can't get burnt away, it can't get flooded, and it can't get frozen,
I love it. And that is true to life, like you said before.
Yeah.
In the spaces.
Absolutely. It's these games are lessons for becoming who we are meant to be, and they're great for young children to play. I play these with my kids because just like anything, when you are playing a game, you get competitive about it. You really want to beat your opponent, and when you lose, you're heartbroken. But like you want to deal with that emotional trauma that comes with like losing something that you're really going for. You want to deal with that in the safe confines of just a fun game, that can help you learn to deal with some of these powerful emotions in such a way as then when it happens later in life, you have built the skill set to be able to manage, getting really close and falling just inches short, and it also builds the skill set of saying, well, when you get knocked down, don't get discouraged. Build yourself back up.
Slow clap. Woo! Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That's super cool. And thank you, Brett. So I think my next step as a gamer here will be to just keep practicing, playing the bots, playing the free play. And then is there at any point where I need to spend money to play this game?
No, there's a free play mode, and all players are fully welcome to just enjoy that free play mode. However, yeah, if you wanted to start to collect some of these cards, they do trade on an open market. The being able to play the cards enables you to enter into different sections of the competitive play format. We still run competitive events for our free to own game model. We just run some that require you to own the cards as well. Just like any sort of like any trading card game, when you show up to a store to play in an event, it's expected that you own those cards. So similarly, we have we use the blockchain to manage digital ownership. And so we allow you to enter into our ranked events and earn prizes. So we do $50 daily prizes. Again, several of these are free. So money we don't want money to be an issue for people's enjoyment of the game. But Monday and Tuesday, $50 free events with all cards available to all players. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we are doing the ranked events, and we are doing weekend events of $500 as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. So people can play, it's free to play, and then they get the experience, they get ever more competitive. And then if they play in the group at the group event or at the gathering, then they have the opportunity to win money. But do they have the opportunity to win cards?
Yes. So if you enter into the tournaments, you do get opportunities to win the cards. And that is a unique value proposition that we get to create by building the game on the blockchain, is that instant card distribution to players who have earned certain achievements and rewards is really cheap. And it enables us as game creators to just create an instant, opportunity to create a relationship with our players.
Right. Well, one person that comes to mind, I might edit this out later, but is Natalie Wookert.
Yeah.
She's a
Yeah.
really good gamer. I saw her playing at the Bitcade in 2022 when I met you in person, and
Yep.
she was very competitive and good at the games that were played there. So just that sudden brainstorm came to me. I think we should get her in the mix too, playing these games.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you wouldn't mind setting that up, we'd love to do another demo session and maybe we can get her involved in one of our events.
Yeah, super cool. Well, I can ask. You
Perfect.
know? Yeah, and
Yeah.
then also Ray too. I know Ray is a big gamer, so I would love
Perfect.
for him to play all
Yeah.
together. Now,
Yeah.
one thing,
Let's
when you have these tournaments, can you see each other? Are you in an online room, or are you in this combat one-on-one style room with different people?
Yeah, the tournaments are organized through a platform that is called Community Gaming,
Okay.
communitygaming.io.
Cool.
And it structures the tournaments in such a way as it's very easy, and users can just instantly get an alert of who their next opponent is, and they go into the match room with the opponent. They create a match room. It lets you flip a coin to see who's going first, and then you just build a room, similarly to what we just did, where we just played against each other and determined a match winner. So you do that with the opponent that the platform decides is your next opponent, and you just get matched up, and then you report the results. So if you won, you let the platform know that you're the winner, and it would just continually feed you down the line until you end up with um, a eventual winner of the entire event.
Neato. So that's fun.
Yeah.
That way you can have a bit of yucking it up with everybody where you're like, hey, I saw you at the match and oh,
Yeah.
you did that move with the turdy and
Exactly. Yeah. And we have a Discord. So the Discord is discord.gg/CoOMBattles. And I encourage everyone, even if you're just casually interested in the game itself, join the Discord, because it is a really welcoming, open community of people who are experimenting, testing, and playing this game, and learning in the process, and encouraging each other. And there's also a little bit of smack talking sometimes between each other too,
yeah,
as gamers are sometimes want to do. And but it's all in good
totally.
fun. It's really more about kind of creating a positive community around a shared passion that is so important.
It is. And you can't help but that, hey, better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's mostly, you really are like the people that you're closest to are like the ones that you want to build
Yeah.
that friendly competition with, so that
Yeah, it's like
it keeps that engagement.
right. Oh, what fun. Well, to anyone watching, let's play. Go to the Discord. It's linked below this video in the description box. You can just click on the link and get in on the game. And I will continue to be playing and can't wait till the next match. Or what do you call it? Tournaments or matches?
Yeah, tournaments, we run them every day, $50 dailies, and $500 weekend events.
Wow. And then about what time does it usually start?
They vary in time. So in the weekdays, we begin at 8 p.m. Eastern, and they cascade down by 2 hours as it gets later on in the week. So 8, 6, 4, 2, and noon. And
Mhm.
then on Fridays, so the Fridays is the noon. And then on weekends, they do vary, but they've been beginning pretty fairly early Eastern morning time.
Wow. Okay, neato. So
Hmm.
I'll definitely reach out to any of my gamer friends and let them know this info if they want to get in on the fun. And Brett, thank you so much for your time. Brett Banfe, the one and only manifestable. And how can people follow you even more in your work?
Yeah. So on Twitter, I'm manifestable. On the Discord, discord.gg/CoOMBattles. One of the easiest ways to get in touch with me, manifestable there as well. And then you can email me at brett.b@handcash.io. And yeah, reach out to me, whatever you need. And I'm here to assist and make your gaming journey possible by taking, a digital transformation to the blockchain.
Thank you. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for joining us and being in the moment. And we look forward to be in the moment with you all again soon. Goodbye.